Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how the statement "I am in my head" is overly used. Man, I hear this statement from all walks of life. I don't care if it's from a little child, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, to grown adults, 50, 60 years old, who's been in this realm for an extremely long time. But I hear it a lot more from beings around my age range, in between that 15, 14 range to the 40 range. They love this statement, "I am in my head." See, you cannot be understanding that you're a spiritual being having a human experience and you're still stuck on the statement, "I'm in my head." We aren't in our heads. We're in multiple realms and universe, right? But most of it, when they say "I'm in my head," meaning that they spend more time in their inner space, traveling, running through different ideas, concepts, and different ideologies. When somebody comes to me and says, "Oh yeah, I'm one of them people, I'm always in my head," I'll be like, "Do you think I'm a robot? Do you feel as though I don't process in my inner space? You're just calling it your head. You're using a physical representation to establish and to paint the picture that this is where the spirit resides at. If the spirit resided in here, then there wouldn't be a such thing as people becoming brain dead or vegetables. The spirit doesn't reside up here. The brain just fully functions the body, which is why you can go to the doctor, they can hit your knee, boom, and your knee will do that little natural reaction, it'll jerk up. Most of us in Western society all had to go through this once every year damn near, and if you play sports, sometimes you probably had to do it multiple times, you know what I mean? And if you like me, I played sports for numerous years, so in my world, eventually I got to that age where it's like, all right, let me see if I could not move my knee when they hit it. And it wasn't possible for me to not move my knee because the way our bodies is set up, it's its own living vessel and organism, which is why I don't have to tell myself to breathe. I don't have to say, "You know what, Trak, you need to breathe. You know what, Trak, you need to blink." I don't have to do these things because my body naturally do it. I don't have to say I get a cut. I don't have to be like, "Oh, Trak, you know what, body, heal yourself." It just naturally starts doing these things themselves. So when some people, I ain't gonna say all, because some be in some just weird far out la la lands where it's like a sci-fi movie. See, they get these sci-fi images from watching these movies, but if they hadn't indulged into these movies, they wouldn't even perceive things the way that they do. When you are using these quote-unquote statements, you live in your head. It's almost counterintuitive to the powers and the abilities that you actually have in the spiritual being that you actually are. To a certain degree, you could say you live there, right? Because we rent houses. You get a lease for 1 year, 18 months. You tell everybody you live there. So to a degree, you can use that statement. But in all actuality, we're visiting. Some people go visit places for 6 months and they still don't tell people they live there. They be like, "Yeah, I visited there. I was visiting there for 6 months. I visited there for 3 months." That's a long time to be visiting, but it's also a concept of understanding that's not my home. That's not where I reside at. And they already have it established in their inner space that home is where the heart is. So if their heart resides somewhere else, then that's what they are going to call and establish as home. See, there's so many people out here that's lost in the sauce, and they use this "I'm in my head" space to kind of not follow natural law And I come across it a lot more with the spiritual beings who dance around in the middle. The beings who don't really follow a religion and they create their own ideologies. I don't follow any religion, but I follow Source, which I can label Source as a religion. One, because it's natural law and it's the blueprint, but I just don't use the term religion because of the energy that's attached to it. Yes, I could change the energy and vibration behind it, but the same way somebody created that word and that vibration behind it, we can do the same thing with new words and change the vibration. If we don't see it being necessary to change the word and the vibration to the word that is presented to us that we currently use. If this world is a reflection of our inner space, wouldn't that mean we all live inside of here, in here? If you can manifest, which most people are not saying or using or doing anymore because they realize, oh, we manifest every day, and the things that they would like to manifest, you still have to put the work in. You still have to put a lot of time in, processing, time traveling to the future, seeing things play out, doing certain things, taking certain steps, certain measures in the spiritual realm. Even when people process traveling, time traveling, they feel as though you are going to time travel with this actual physical vessel. We time travel every day. Some people, whole life is like the 51st days. They live in the past. Every day they wake up, it's the same day. Even if we got the same routines in our journey right now, we know that every day is a new day. And every day we get a chance to experience new life, new experiences, it's new vibrations that's passing through us. We understand these things. But from my understanding with diving in and hearing beings who say, I live in my head, most of them have been people who have worked some kind of witchery or sorcery. Because if you really tapped into Source, then you would understand that this whole realm is a reflection. So if you process that way, that means we all process the exact same way. Now, whether you have a fast processor or a slow processor, whether your processor malfunctions or it works properly or perfect, that's completely different. But we all process out here, and we all are the actual beings from within. I'm not speaking for no androids, no robots, any of this weird stuff that the people in charge have made, But we all have to experience this to a degree. But even for using the statement, I live inside my head, right? If you spent as much time as you actually thought you did inside of your inner space, then you would understand that you are causing things to happen outside of you. All of these things and situations that take place that we deal with, it always has some connection to do with our inner space. Always, 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 always. I wouldn't be out here right now filming again if I didn't process on the inside and then manifest it on the outside. Or like what I'd like to say is just make it happen. I don't care for using the word manifest, Manifest was one of those words when the demons was taking over the spiritual realm and they wanted to start. They are very good with their vocabulary and making sure that if you don't have the right words to use, then they are going to give you the right words to use and to say. And if you aren't wise enough or knowledgeable enough or experienced enough, then all of this is going to force you to use the same vocabulary that they are using. And you won't know how to put your own energy signature on it, and you will believe the definition that they created for that word. See, for people to live in their head, right, and to be operating out here in this realm of reality, that means they have to be aware of the vibrations that they put out every day. So that means the people who are doing shit with ill intentions and are extremely selfish to the highest degree, they are aware of these things. For the beings who are constantly in a position of saying, oh, I'm sorry, but they live in their head, they are aware of these things. For the beings who like to take advantage of people, like to extort people, like to try to expose people for moving with source, they are aware of these things. For the people who want you to feel rejected and neglected, they are aware. It's like I always say, in today's society, you can almost count on 80 to 85% of the beings out here to be aware of their actions. And I only say the 15% for the little people, not the adults. That 15% was for the little people, because a lot of them have shitty teachers, people who are unhealthy, programming them to their society and to be in a worse position than they are in. When I see little children that's extremely unhealthy, that's what I've been teaching my daughter to say when she see people who are on the super big plus size. Because even little people know that, that's not our natural state that we start in. So, and we know how honest little people are. So what I have been doing is substituting the word big and fat for just unhealthy. Because it's a lot of us that operates on an unhealthy spectrum, and it just shows in a different light. So the ones, let's say like the ones who walk around who are on the bigger side, their light is shined on them by a regular white light. You know what I mean? But the ones who have the unhealthy habits that's walking this realm, some of them, their habits are shown with the black light. You're not going to see the same unhealthy habits with the black light that you will without the black light. But that doesn't mean that one is healthier than the other. That just means that one is hidden a little bit better, and you have to use a different lighting in order for it to be completely visible. See, a lot of people ain't really willing to dive into these depths, One, because we got to chase the dollar. Two, we trying to figure out relationships. Three, you dealing with a lot of witchery and sorcery around you. Four, we got the system working on us 24/7. You know what I mean? So it's just like a lot of these things we have to keep in mind and be aware of. And if you can do something about it, then why not do something about it? We're not always in the best moods every day. We don't always have our vibration at 1,000. Sometimes it's at 100 or 90%. You know what I mean? But we still have to push through on those certain days. But we don't have to live in a la-la land because we're allowed to say we live in our head. No. I reside in this body right now, but I know that this body is temporary. We all have to go. Not one of these birds that's chirping gets to stay in this realm forever. Not none of these worms that's in this ground get to stay in this realm forever. Not one single human being gets to stay in this realm forever. You don't. Whether you come back or not is completely different, but you won't have the same vessel. That is completely different. You know what I mean? So just kind of get into the understanding that we all operate from inward outward. You know what I mean? And if you one of them people that say you live in your heads, we all do. So if that is a statement that you got to utilize to make yourself feel a little bit more special, cool. But the ones who connected with source already understand everything starts from inward outwardly. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to run it up too long. Just wanted to tap on something real light for today. You know what I mean? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.